starting off with UAE, no specific order. Uh, in UAE, the compliance stands at 71%. What does it mean? Obviously, 29% of the campaigns that we discovered are non-compliant. Now, how do I bring it in perspective? Is anything within the range of 90 to 100% is considered very good compliance. Between 85 to 90 is considered good, and anything below 85 and say within 80 and 85 is fair, and below that stands at concerning or fair compliance. So UAE stands at a concerning compliance. Why? Because it's a big market, the ARPU is good, and a lot of people are here, and the ROIs are good. But if compliance is not good, then you don't have a stable and a long-term return from this market. Affiliate campaigns have recently seen to be increasing in the market, which shows the market is slightly opening up. There are guidelines in the market, but some merchants have exceptions. Good or for bad, probably time would say. We have on and off order sub campaigns. Now these are mainly from malwares, so without customer consent, subscriptions happen, which is not good, and that shows towards compliance as well. Very common breach types that we see in GCC are telco brand passing off and impersonation of public figures or prominent figures. So using telco branding for telling customers you're going to get data or minutes is a telco brand passing off campaign. And impersonation of public figure is wherein the ruling members or any famous personality like your MPC guy is used on campaigns saying you're going to win money. So those campaigns are quite prevalent in GCC. Etisalat had a compliance of 72%, while Do had a very low compliance of 49%. Something very interesting, only in UAE in this slide is if you see the ratio of campaigns on Etisalat and Do, it's not balanced. Though the subscriber base is more or less neck to neck. You see in Etisalat, you see around 94% of the campaigns that we discover. But on Do, it's just 6%. And the reason is most of the acquisitions happen through inventory provided by Do. To sum this market up, more sought out a market since Saudi has gone on a shutdown or Saudi is relatively slack these days, but it's very saturated. You have almost all the players there vying for that small base, and hence it's a very sensitive market, and it's pretty much on and off with suspension, on and off, or some examples. This is an order sub that we recently noticed. An app, you download the app, you enter your mobile number, PIN is auto grabbed, you get subscribed to the service. Another example is misleading. It tells you free data, free minutes, and you get subscribed. Just few examples. Saudi. Saudi was traditionally one of the biggest markets in GCC. All of them were flocking to Saudi because bigger market in terms of customer base and your ROI was impressive. But then 2 years back with STC shutting down, it made a big impact. And that's when you saw a lot of people trying to move to UAE to make up for that loss. So the compliance shows 89%, but this compliance is because not much campaigns are running on STC, and Saudi is just on Zain and Mobile. But otherwise, 2 years back, the compliance was very poor. It was in the range of 65 to 70. So if you see the effect of low compliance or where there is no control or involvement by the telco to control fraud happening in the market, this is a good example to show Saudi. Something different here is you see a lot of these iPhone giveaways or job offers in Saudi market. Button labeling is a very common case. You don't see subscribe, though it is one of the main guideline for telcos. HE is available on a telco, but since few months we're not seeing it, but it's still available. STC has its own consent gateway and the flow is very difficult, which means it's difficult to get acquisitions or get conversions on this telco. Order subs and order click campaigns have been quite a common sight here. One thing to note is penalties are there in one of the telcos, and that's mainly it's more of a deterrent to control customer complaints, but it is there. Mobile continues with most non-compliant campaigns, and probably that's going to be something that needs to be addressed with the telco, because that's concerning. And if at all the market is afloat, it's because STC is down, but then things happening on mobile could make this market unstable. And we have seen markets in the West and other places where it's completely shut down. So probably that's something I would want to highlight. And the compliance respectively. So STC and Zain stands at 98%, 99%, while mobile is at a 72% of compliance. Some examples: job offers, misleading into getting customers subscribed, but in reality he's not offered anything. He's just getting subscribed to a service. Telco brand passing off, customer gets 10 GB data, misled into subscribing. An example. Oman, very good compliance, though you see only 85%, but traditionally Oman has been on a 90% average compliance. Um, you see a lot of affiliate flows here, and it's mostly on social media, and it is non-compliant. Order click campaigns, though not very prevalent, we've started to see it in the first quarter. And again, as I mentioned, in GCC, telco brand passing off and misrepresentation of public figures are a quite common aside. That this is interesting. Some landing pages don't have terms and conditions in the night time, but so anything between 11 p.m. to the early hours of the day, there are no terms and conditions on the landing page, but then the other hours you start to see it. So this is something that we noticed specifically in Oman. And there are also certain campaigns wherein you don't have you give consent for X service, but you get subscribed to Y service, and assume the reason for it is affiliate is bidding for the highest they can get from their merchants, and that's why this happens. But to sum it up, it is stable. Uh, it is a reliable market, though small, not as big as UAE and Saudi, for you to be looking at long-term investments. Compliance is 85, 86% with both the telcos. Some examples quite common is ruler impersonation and telco brand passing off. All right, Qatar, another interesting market. Compliance is at 79%. Uh, it has always stayed in the range of 75 to 85%. There are HE single click flows from one of the telcos, and in that telco you see a lot of these order subs and order click campaigns. Probably things could change because that telco started to take compliance and customer complaints serious. So in the coming months, probably you would not see many of these issues, and Qatar's compliance could go up, which is a positive. Again, you see landing pages without terms and conditions, without proper CTAs. One common thing, one important thing in Qatar is ruler impersonation is taken very seriously by the telcos and the regulator. So that's something all of you need to be careful about, because if there is any ruler impersonation campaign and it's with the telco, that would end up in a penalty. You see a lot of these FB instant messengers and push notification campaigns, and all of them are 100% non-compliant. The compliance of Ooredoo is 75%. 75% is because they have banner guidelines. So RDA banners are not recognized, which means if there is no price point in service name, we are asked to tag it as non-compliant. But however, if those banner specifications were not there, Ooredoo would definitely be in an 85 to 90% compliance. And you have Vodafone at 83%. Again, order sub, it's quite common. I've just taken an example of order sub, and your common telco brand passing off campaigns that you see in GCC. Kuwait, smaller market, compliance is concerning. The overall compliance stood at 75%. Something very interesting here is we find a lot of technical issues. Now, what do I mean by technical issues is customer is subscribing to a service, OTP doesn't come. Or you enter the OTP, you validate yourself, you don't get subscribed. So these are we identified 40 such cases in Kuwait. And how does it matter? You're spending a lot of money. You're paying a CPA or you're paying your CPC, but then eventually it doesn't convert because of a technical issue on your side. So this is something that we noticed in Kuwait, remote only to Kuwait. HE is available. We have a lot of order subs and order clicks in Kuwait. And commonly, telco brand passing off is there. If you ask, Kuwait is concerning compliance. It's not a very stable market because compliance is poor. The compliance of all the telcos are there. It's in the range of 74 to 78%. Again, some examples, telco brand passing off. and misleading job offers. Bahrain, the smallest of the lot, and very good compliance. If you see, HE is available on two telcos. You do have order subs and order clicks. One of the telcos have subscription caps, and that's there just to maintain customer complaints. But still, being a small market, your business cases are met. Excellent stable compliance. Again, I'm repeating, though it's a small market, it's good to have market. Compliance is all 90% above with all the three telcos. You do have order subs still, but not as many as you would find in Kuwait or Saudi, and a telco brand passing of example. So I've covered all the 6 GCC countries, and just to make it as representative in MENA, I've chosen Iraq, Morocco, and Tunisia in this. Iraq compliance is concerning. It's 78%. It has always been in the range of 65 to 80%. The best it has had is 80%. You have a lot of high breach type cases in Iraq. Affiliates are, most of the campaigns are from affiliates. There are HE single click and 2-click flows that you see. And SMS to click campaigns also exist in Iraq, which is not seen in GCC. The compliance of the telcos are there. Korek is 72. HSL has 87%, which is higher, and then Zain at 79%. Skipping the examples, I'm getting to Morocco and Tunisia. So we've seen a lot of ups and downs in compliance, but then we have two markets here, Morocco and Tunisia. Tunisia is my last slide. Very good compliance. While you have a lot of merchants in GCC countries, the number of merchants in Morocco and Tunisia are less because it's more controlled market. So at any point in time, you see 15 or 16 merchants advertising in the market. Something interesting that we noticed in Morocco is the services advertised are more of the genres games. And we do have affiliate flows. There are HE2 clicks, but having said that, not much of breach types. It's more controlled. So presume it to be very stable to be there. We have examples here. I would rather skip this and go to Tunisia. Similar compliance. While in Morocco you had more of gaming genre services, here you see more of video as video services being advertised. You have brand passing off here, wherein famous footballers or famous brands are used to get customers to your services. 15 odd merchants at any point in time advertising. Compliance is in the 90% range. To sum it up, UAE, so many merchants, all of them are flocking into UAE. Is it stable? Probably not, because the compliance is concerning. Saudi, again with STC on hold, has its own CG. It's difficult to get customers, because of which the compliance is the best for STC. And Zain, because they invoke penalties, compliance is very good. But however, Mobile's compliance is very low, so that's affecting the market, and that's making it unstable and concerning. All the other 3-4 GCC markets, good and stable compliance. You have telcos monitoring compliance, and because of which you can see it is stable. It gives confidence for you to look at long-term investments in these 4 GCC markets, which is Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. Though they are relatively small, they are more stable. Iraq is poor compliance. You do have HE and single-click flows. Compliance is concerning. Morocco and Tunisia, very high compliance, very stable market, but it's controlled for some reason, so you don't have a lot of merchants there. So if at all you get an opportunity in Morocco and Tunisia, it's good to look at long-term investments.